Oh, my phone. Okay. Oh, yeah, that was last. Okay. I'll take it. Oh, maybe. I'll take it.
You didn't hear from Joe?
Well, sorry, that's already. Okay, the time is 6:19. Let's call the Monday, April 7th, 2025 Human Resources and Economic Development Committee meeting to order. On tonight's agenda, we have 5 items. The time is 6:19. New abatements, tax abatement renewals, we have miscellaneous and adjournment. Under new abatements, not have any new abatements tonight. So for the renewals under item C, the way we'll do it is similar in years past, as they are grouped by representative. So we'll just take them in groups by representative, and then if there's any questions from the board, we can address it at that time. So the first group for renewals is under Benjamin Ballou. There's 3 items for D&L Wood Products, PK Property Management, and Core X. Greg, you want to do you have any report on those or any
everything under D&L Wood Products is met or exceeded standards. The abatement that was granted last year in conversations with the property owner, they're projecting construction in the 3rd quarter of this year. Their building department on some requirements for their state design release. That's probably answering that.
I will just echo what Greg said, that for D&L's the existing abatements, they've exceeded the SB1 estimates. We would appreciate a deferral for 6/19. Again, same understanding, 3rd quarter, working with building department to get the plans moving along and break ground. Hopefully sooner, we'll see, but that's everything for the D&L abatements and renewals.
And Greg, did you have anything for
PK Property Management has exceeded and met all requirements on the SB1s. 4X. I guess the deferral, they have not had their personal property assessed yet, just opening, so assessment will go on next year.
Agreed.
Okay.
Keep it short and sweet. I can answer any questions if necessary.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from any of the board members? If not, the chair will entertain a motion.
Do we need motions to defer these 2 separately?
You can do that.
All in one or something?
You can do 2 separate ones, one for the approvals and then one for the deferral. We'll do this.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for deferral on 619 North Indiana and also on 13480 Mississippi Parkway.
Okay. Second. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. Motion passes.
Motion for the approvals.
We don't need to do roll calls, correct?
Correct. No.
Okay. And then, the chair will entertain a motion also for the approvals.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve D&L Wood Products and PK Property Management for the abatements.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there? I'll second the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. The ayes have it. Or all those opposed, sorry. Hearing none, the ayes have it. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next group will be under Attorney Decker. We have 2 for Dominic Pitzel and then 1 for RJ Van Drunen. There are no deferrals in this group.
Good evening.
Greg, did you have any standard order update on any of these?
All 3 met or exceeded their requirements as posted.
Attorney Decker, did you have any comments or anything you need to add about about these three?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to add. The reports speak for themselves in terms of the numbers of employees, and I think correctly has exceeded the projections that were made on the SB1 form. So nothing further to add.
Well, with that, I'll bring it back to the board if there's any comments.
I move to approve the three requests that are listed under Attorney Deckers.
Okay, there's a motion. I'll second the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion is passed.
Thank you.
Next, there is one renewal. It's year 9 of 10 under Attorney Tim Kuiper. This is for Craig Fowler / Angry Eddie. Greg, I don't know, did you have any staff report on this one?
No, just as previous years, this is a 70-30 based on 70% manufacturing, 30% restaurants. The abatement's only on the manufacturing side, and they've met their requirements as noted. So,
Okay, thank you. Is Tim Kuiper on, Attorney Kuiper?
I am.
Excellent. If you have anything to add, you can feel free to add it at this time on this one.
I do not. We've met or exceeded the expectations on the prior form, and we just asked for favorable approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll bring it back to the board. Are there any comments or questions of the petitioner for this one? If not, the chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval of the Elskar Brewing.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second? I'll second the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion is passed.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, there are two under Carrie Adams, LRDM Ventures LLC. Two for LRDM Ventures. One is 530 and one is 400 North Indiana Avenue. Greg, any comment about these?
No, both properties have met or exceeded their employment and AB standard. The only question or comment we had on this one is they turned in a prior year form and to update that if they provided it. Okay, so they're all good to go.
Okay, great. If the petitioner can hear me, feel free to add in any comments that you'd like to address the board with.
Okay, can you hear me?
Can you turn it up a little bit? How about now? Try again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Well, thanks for taking the time to look at it. As the others have said, we also have exceeded or met what we had hoped to be doing and do have time for still some more growth for Crown Point.
If that's it, I'll bring it back to the board. Are there any questions or comments about this one?
I move to approve Bayshore Property and Shaw Commerce.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? You guys have it. Thank you, Ms. Adams.
Thank you.
Last group that we have is under Attorney Dan Zamudio. There's a number of these. Right,
Yeah, just on these properties, a question for Attorney Zamudio is majority of them are not meeting their assessed value projections as presented in their resolutions. Many of them are over, and multiple have had their assessed value go down over a number of years. So if you can address any of those concerns for the board, we appreciate it.
Sure, I appreciate it, and good evening, folks.
This was a difficult one. We have 23 redeveloped properties owned by 13 property owners. My office has given you folks the reports sort of in one fell swoop, so I appreciate you going through them. Interestingly, the assessor's office didn't have updated numbers for this year by the time the deadline was due for the reports. So I think that it's gonna be interesting to see what does happen with the new assessments for the current properties. As far as if you look through the reports, I think that overall they are performing well, right? They're largely exceeding the goals when it comes to the jobs created, the aesthetics of the place, salaries paid, and the employee benefits. I think there are a couple of properties that are slightly below the projections for job salaries. But even those cases, the owners they're dedicated, right? They're continuing to invest in the community locally. They take care of the property. There's no question about that. And they're keeping the properties active and productive. So without regard to going through the assessed value for all of them, because I didn't have the luxury of this year's numbers, I think that overall the reports show properties that are pretty well performing. And honestly, it shows the benefit to the city by allowing the deductions that were asked for years ago. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd be happy to take any direct questions. I don't have any specifics for the assessed values. All I know is that this year, and I think we had a conversation with engineering, that we weren't able to get the numbers current because the assessor's office was behind at the time that the reports were due.
Yeah, and I guess specifically, like, we can go to like the top one, 601 112th Avenue West is a 10,000 square foot masonry building in Crown East. In 2014, the assessed value of it was 604,000, and the most current county assessment was at 508,000. So I'm not really sure how over 10 years the assessed value goes down $100,000 on a 10,000 square foot building.
Right.
That costs probably $150 to $200 square foot to construct. So
Yeah.
I think overall these are majority in Crown East that none of them are at the assessed values. I don't think they should be.
Yeah, it's interesting how that formula works for assessing property, that magical formula.
Did the assessor's office give any indication on when they'd have updated assessments available?
I think they're updated now. I think they're now. As a matter of fact, I think we just saw a bill come through today. And I do want to say that engineering, I want to say thank you to Heather's office answering all of our questions and made it a really good process for getting here today. So kudos to engineering. But nobody had answers in the county for why the bills weren't out on time.
Yeah, I guess a little bit of concern, not so much on, again, this one, we're at the 10-year period, but some of these back here that are year 3 or 4, I mean, there's some that have missed by 50%. But I think the board may have a little bit of a concern with the tax abatement was granted on certain milestones being hit, and we're not anywhere close on a couple of these. I mean, there's one that's like 1.2 million, it's assessed for 600 and some change.
Yeah.
I mean, so not having an answer to that, I think, is maybe a little bit difficult for the board to comprehend that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who would have the answer for this, right? I mean, if the assessors are assessing, I mean, they don't even go out and look at properties these days, right? They're sort of doing a statistical assessment. So I'm not sure who would have the answer as to why a specific property is not being assessed, what the property should be assessed at. Because I don't think there's a property in Crown East that shouldn't be assessed at, should be assessed at $500,000.
Right. So I guess the question is, should the tax abatement even be there if what was projected didn't happen?
Well, I think that at the time that the tax abatement was approved by the city, there were benefits that were going to happen, not just assessed value, right? Certainly, I don't think anybody is going to say that Crown East looks bad, right? It's a beautiful industrial park. But also the effect that it has on the community as a whole with regards to employment, right? The benefits that employees get, the salaries that people get, the way the property looks, it's not just the assessed value. So there are a lot of factors that go into it. And I think, Alex, that's a fair question, but it's just one of the factors that go into why the city of Crown Point would grant an abatement.
I mean, 11235 Delaware Parkway, it's in year 2 of 10, only has 1 employee at a salary of like 55,000.
Yeah, that was an interesting one that we looked at. So it has 1 employee at 55, and it had promised 4 at 250. That's a Scapel. They have a parts distribution center there, and we have had a conversation with the landlord as to how they're going to bump that one up. I don't have an answer for that one yet. But yeah, Scapel's got their parts distribution center in there, and honestly, if they were to have 3 more employees, we would hope that they would get over the 250,000, right? So that one we have got our sights on, and we've also asked them why they don't have any Crown Point residents working, right? And that was a concern.
Yeah, and this one is probably closer to properly assessed. I mean, a lot of those buildings are kind of the same size in that 10,000 square foot.
Yeah.
Metal buildings, and this one has a 1.2 million evaluation, and a similar one has 500,000.
I don't get it.
And again, there might be a bigger discussion with the assessor of similar buildings and having 100% difference in the
Right.
valuations.
And the way we expect it to work is that the assessor will pick your neighbors, right? And sort of take the value from there. But it's weird how it's just not happening. But I don't think that I think that's more along the expectation of the landlord would have sort of said reasonably it's going to be worth $1 million, right? I mean, I really find it hard, Alex, again, to believe that any property in Crown East is valued at or assessed at $500,000. Right? It's just. So I don't have an answer for that other than saying it's something that we would have to defer to and maybe get an answer from the assessor. But with that in mind, I know going over 26 of these things is, or 23 of these applications is difficult for the committee. But we would ask that you make a favorable recommendation to the council and have them abatements renewed.
Craig, what were the other ones that we're missing currently, the assessed valuation projections, other than 601, 112, and 11,235 Delaware?
It might be easier to say which ones are not.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Looks like this one is kind of confusing too. The 11055, 11085 Virginia appears to be on the same parcel,
yeah,
but separate tax ID numbers, and both individually paid, but combine their values and jobs, everything meets. So
for Nagel Enterprises.
Yeah,
right.
There was Nagel Enterprises meets or exceeds all recommend original projections. About everything else is off on the AB.
And actually, it's interesting that we did have a meeting with the assessor on Nagel Enterprises properties.
Okay.
So you wonder, and they did make some adjustments, right? So I don't know why they're not adjusting other properties in the same industrial park.
Yeah, I mean, 11181 Virginia, is assessed at 425, 11171 at 417, 11,000 Virginia, both properties are at 638. And all their projections are between 770 and 850. So we're just off on maybe that's, I don't know what the board's position is as a council. Do you want to see this tonight? Do you want to get some answers?
Personal opinion is I wouldn't mind allowing them more time to get some answers on this AV question. But I don't want to speak for everyone up here, so.
I think the council is probably gonna be on the same page with that.
Okay.
I would agree.
Okay, so is this a deferral then?
So are you recommending, Greg, that all of these are deferred, or approve the one that is in compliance in your opinion, or what are you suggesting?
I would recommend yes on the one that is in compliance with board. The rest of them, I think it'd be a good idea for Attorney Zamudio and myself to go over them, and we can put a report together.
Okay.
Kind of sent back to the board prior to the meeting to give updates on why things are what they are, and maybe put a little more comprehensive list together of where our differences are.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be happy to do that. I mean, anything to help move it along. for the
And I know
city.
one of your clients is here, Morgan's Mechanical,
Yes,
and that was in the same, that was along the same, Greg. The
401.
401 to
Monitor.
411 East
you
Monitor.
got the bill? You wanna come up? Yeah, I've got Mr. Vlasopoulos is here. And he's actually the one that brought the bill right from the assessor's office because he just got it. You don't have to have it on there. I think that one, that's for Lewis and Clark Enterprises. I think we'll see the assessed value on the current bill.
While Greg is pulling up that, there's two that have been deferred now for 6 to 7 years respectively. Nagel Enterprises, the third one there, which was approved on 9/3/19, and then 11120 Virginia Street, which was approved February 2018. These have been deferred now, like I said, for 6 to 7 years. As we've done in the past few meetings, as they can cleaning some of these things up, the petitioner can always put in a new application for tax abatement. My opinion is try to clean some of these up that have been deferred now for 5, 6, 7 years. So I'm going to put a motion out there to deny the deferral on those two. 11055 and 11085 Virginia Street under Nagel Enterprises LLC, and 11120 Virginia Street under Ron Morris Crown East Warehouses LLC.
If I could, Councilman,
I have a motion on the floor, so
sure.
well, is there a second to the motion?
Do you want to amend that motion and say on the one on Virginia Street that would be it would be the addition to the large building?
Yes, just strictly, yeah, I'll amend my motion. It's just strictly to the third item, the addition to the large building.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion is passed. Okay, so those are removed. Greg, did you have?
Yeah, the 401 to 411 monitor was good. The 425 to 455 was short employees. Projections. The only, I guess, small asterisk in the application that listed as brick or masonry building. But But that's nothing to do with things that are small.
So you're recommending approval of both of those?
Or 401, yes,
401, 401 to 411.
yes,
So the two that you're recommending approval for are the 401 to 411, well, 3, and the 2 Nagel buildings, the first two.
correct.
I'll make that motion to approve those 3.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Second, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. Motion passed. So that leaves the remaining that have questions about the compliance with the AV. So I guess would 30 days be appropriate as a deferral to allow enough time for the petitioner to get more information on the assessed valuation and bring it back to this board? Sure, sure. Okay, so leave it open then and just allow them time.
We'll work it.
Okay, all right. Formalize that in a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to defer to work with the Economic Development Department to put the comprehensive list together of all parts of the SB1 and CF1 to bring it back to the board.
Second, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passed. Okay. And then last item on the agenda is the deferral of Arcadia Cold Storage. This one's at 13301 Mississippi Parkway. Is there a staff report on
Yeah,
this one?
currently under construction, it's a 5-year, 50% abatement on personal property only. Now, the recommended approach is under construction. Assessed for next year.
Okay.
Motion for deferral.
Second on the motion?
Second, I thought you were second.
Okay, gotcha. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. That concludes the tax abatement renewals. We'll move on to item D, which is miscellaneous. Is there any miscellaneous business to come before the board? Hearing none.
I would just like to commend Greg and his team, Heather, for putting together. This wasn't very extensive. The way did this handout was very easy to read and navigate. So thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
This will be the last renewal of paper packets. The city's adopted a program called Civic Serve, an economic development tool with all facades and grants and abatements will run through. So the end users, the attorneys, will be using that. Everything will come to us. Everyone will have a login to see all the progress of the project.
Very good. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.